We are also happy to inform that 3 more faculties have enrolled in the PhD program. The Metas Adventist School of Nursing has presently admitted the 38th batch of GNM students. Alongside classroom instructions, they engage themselves in clinical postings in the hospital, camps and community service. The vibrant campus of Metas Adventist College, Ranchi offers A&M, GNM, PB, BSc Nursing and the BSc Nursing program with a collective strength of 340 students. Blessed with sound infrastructure and well-equipped labs, the students have the best learning experience from the best team of tutors and clinical instructors. They consistently shine with excellence and outstanding performance in both scholastic and non-scholastic events. The recent Student Nurses Association witnessed an outstanding performance of skill and talent in sports as well as soft skills. Good things are happening on the campus through community building and environmental protection. Metas Adventist College of Nursing, Newswood is the only BSc Nursing college in the town of Newswood, having an enrollment of 243 students. By the grace of God, a good number of students passed with distinction in the years gone by. Students are co-partners in government, welfare and other community programs. They actively engage in bringing awareness against diseases and promote a preventive healthy lifestyle. They are exposed to research activities and sent to participate in conferences and seminars to update their knowledge and nursing practices. Research and development is taken seriously at Metas campuses. Faculty are actively engaged in paper presentations at the state, national and international conferences. Several books have also been published by our faculty in various disciplines. Mr. Sanjit Prakash was awarded the title Young Researcher. Metas Adventist Hospital, Surat is one of the oldest yet the modern medical institution of Southern Asia Division. Serving since 1923, the hospital has grown from an insignificant clinic to the present state-of-the-art edifice. Known for its excellence in quality service, this NABH-approved facility has seen 73,434 OPD patients and 11,042 inpatients. To its already vast scope of services, the hospital is granted permission to set up a renal transplant unit. There are plans for setting up a liver transplant unit in the near future. The hospital is also a certified teaching hospital for the DNB program in general medicine. Other courses in the pipeline are the CPS in gynecology and the Indo-Australian critical care course. Healthcare has become more accessible and affordable to the public with the introduction of government schemes such as Ma Yojana, Ayushman Bharat, etc. Being recognized for its quality service, the hospital was awarded Best Hospital in South Gujarat by the Times Group, My FM channel and other regulatory bodies. For the convenience of the campus residents, staffs, students and patients, an ATM is installed within the hospital premises. The Metas Adventist Hospital in Ranchi is improving. It has seen 11,922 patients and treated 6,591 so far this year. A total of 1,006 major and minor surgeries were performed. The eye department is picking up well. 3,000 OPD patients were seen while 131 were operated. Health camps were conducted to help the people in rural and remote areas where healthcare is not accessible. The new ICU wing is a blessing to the hospital and the community. A new software installed at the pharmacy makes inventory and management of drugs a lot easier for the pharmacy department. The operation theatre is now functioning with modern LED lighting system. A new scan machine was purchased for the department. For the benefit of the majority, the hospital is envisaging a tie-up with Ayushman Bharat PM Yojana scheme in the future. American Hospital, as it is still known today, Gifford Memorial Hospital, is inching towards its 100 years of service in the town of Newswood. Since 1925, many seeking respite from their ailments walked into its portals, experiencing healing from the great physician. This year, 897 OPD patients were seen while 6,581 patients were admitted with 229 surgeries performed altogether. 1,478 patients were seen in the eye OPD while 220 patients were given a second chance to see through successful surgeries. The GM Hospital in Newswood is undergoing a massive expansion program that will see the addition of new wings, new equipment, and the construction of 4 new operation theaters. Furthermore, additional accommodation is being built for the staff and the doctors. A cemented road around the hospital is laid, making the pathways more comfortable and easier to maintain. The hospitals at Ranchi and Newswood are working towards acquiring the entry-level NABH accreditation. There is a pressing need to build new hostels at Newswood and staff quarters. A new 750-bedded super specialty hospital is planned in the Ranchi campus, which will be taken phase-wise. A new nursing block, hostels, and staff quarters will be taken up simultaneously. The Lord has heard our prayers and granted us permission to establish the Northeast Adventist University at Joai, Meghalaya. The IBE has graciously granted us permission to start 6 programs for the year 2020. Much is to be done and a lot more to accomplish for the Lord before we can rest. I beseech your prayer in uplifting Metas for his ministry. May the Lord bless Metas as we continue to strive to be a center of excellence in education and healing. Thank you.
Sir Richard Branson, very well said. Train people well enough so they can leave. Treat them well enough so they don't want to. Okio Morita emphasized, no matter how good, successful, clever, or crafty you are, your business and its future are in hands of the people you hire. Good afternoon all. I, Ms. Ranjita Bhaumik Shastri, Assistant Professor, Metas Adventist College, on behalf of our esteemed Honorable President and CEO, Dr. Elia Shrikakoli, would like to welcome you all for our national webinar on the challenging dynamics of business and HR. On behalf of our institution and webinar organizing committee, I would like to welcome all our subscribers, viewers, and participants on YouTube channel as well as on Zoom platform. I also offer my hearty welcome and reverence to our erudite resource person, Dr. Saumya Badgayan. Thank you, ma'am, for engaging and investing your precious time with us. Thank you all for joining us for this illuminating and enlightening session.
Thank you, Ranjita ma'am. I, Ranjit Prakash, Assistant Professor, Metas Adventist College, your MOC for today's national webinar, and is delighted and gratified to all the participants for joining us. Our very eminent and respected resource person for today's national webinar is Dr. Saumya Badgayan. She's going to share with us on the topic, the challenging dynamics of business and HR. Before that, dear participants, kindly pay attention to a few instructions. Number one, keep posting your queries, doubts, and questions on YouTube comment section or Zoom chat box to get addressed by a resource person. Please note, number of questions to be addressed is subjected to time constraint. Feedback link for the webinar will be posted in YouTube comment section and Zoom chat box during the question and answer session. Submission of feedback form is mandatory to obtain participation certificate. Now, I would like to hand over the time to Mr. Franklin Narayana to offer an opening prayer.
Let's pray. Our most loving Heavenly Father, we thank Thee for giving us this wonderful day, Lord. We thank Thee for protecting us from all harms and dangers. God, as we get into a good and informative session of this national webinar, Changing Dynamics in Business and HR. Be with us, be with the participants, be with the speaker of the hour, Dr. Saumya Badgayan. Be with each and every one of us so that we can understand and we can make a proper utilization of what we learned today. Be with the speaker, be with each and every participants of this international webinar. God, we thank Thee and we put ourselves in Thy in thine hands. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Franklin, sir. Now, I would like to hand over the time to Dr. Mohan, sir, who's a professor and head of Management Department, Metas Adventist College, for his address.
Good morning, all. On behalf of our president and the CEO and all the faculty of Metas Adventist College, I want to welcome all of you for this webinar, The Changing Dynamics of Business and HR. Whether organizations are formally developing a strategy to transform themselves in the wake of digital impact, or they are being engulfed by the digital wave, it's an evident that HR is an epicenter of the massive change that is sweeping across the business. At this juncture, it is essential that HR reflects upon how to adopt technology actively in its functioning and create a new environment for employees and at workplaces. Change is an evident part of any intra and inter-organizational relationship. Organizations interact with each other and develop relationship in order to exploit and develop their resources. From the management perspective, coping with the change become a problem when there is a virtual no possibility of predicting with any accuracy any future state. Dr. Saumya, General Manager of Gold Star Jewelry Private Limited, one of the expertise on the business and HR, is going to give us the insight and information on the changing dynamics of business and HR. Thank you all for joining today's webinar.
Thank you, Dr. Mohan, sir. Without keeping you wait for longer, now I would like to request Mr. Parvez Malik, Assistant Professor, Metas Adventist College, to introduce the resource person for today's national webinar.
Good afternoon, one and all. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce our resource person, Dr. Saumya Badgayan, who is going to storm us with knowledge on the challenging dynamics of business and HR. Dr. Saumya Badgayan, General Manager, Corporate Strategy, HR and IR, Gold Star Jewelry Private Limited, Mumbai. Dr. Saumya has an MBA with dual specialization in marketing and international trade from SIMS and PGDPM from Rani Durgavati Vishwavidyalaya, Jabalpur. She has completed her PhD in analytics of functions, efficiency and profitability of a particular e-commerce from Rajasthan University. She has 20 years of corporate experience in the field of sales, marketing, corporate strategy and HR, with complete knowledge about all the segments of the various markets in the field of luxury products, jewelry, sales, HR, and their countless interplays and ramifications. She has been leading the HR strategist functions for employee business unit, including training and onboarding, performance management, retention and development. She also acts as a strategic business partner to general and upper management, providing guidance on how to best drive employee engagement while limiting legal risk exposure through strong knowledge of employment laws. Apart from being corporate professional and a certified in-house trainer, Dr. Saumya has been a visiting faculty at various institutions and an empaneled professor at IIMs. She has passionately taught subjects like product and brand management, strategic management, and international marketing. She has won various awards in the field of HR and luxury products. Dr. Saumya believes that consistent effort is the key to achieving success. Thus, she always makes sure she strives to be better each time. Without wasting much time, we would like to welcome you, ma'am, on behalf of our respected President and CEO, Dr. Elias Srikakoli, sir. Over to you, Dr. Saumya Badgayan. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much for such a wonderful and a warm welcome from all of you at Metas. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here presenting this webinar to you, My special gratitude to Priya ma'am and to Parvez sir for having me here. Well, as my surname is a lot confusing, so it is Badgayan, but I'm here to give you good gyan. All right, so that's how we're going to start it. I'm not a very PPT oriented person because I feel PPTs are claustrophobic and they restrict you. But nevertheless, format hai, karna padta hai. So here we go. So here is my screen share for all of you. Just to give you a brief introduction on what we're going to discuss today. Is my screen visible to all, please? Can I get a confirmation on that?
Yes, ma'am.
Fantastic. So as the topic has been discussed, it is the changing dynamics of business and the HR implications on the same. Well, we've seen the turn of business that has happened over the years. The world has witnessed 2 world wars. They say the third would be in ether. And 20 pandemics up till now. We have seen much more, and the world today stands impacted with COVID. What has COVID led us? Well, if we see various industries, the entertainment industry is the most hard-hit industry. You don't go to football fields, you don't go to, any of the movie theaters. Even The Voice US is now shot, off screen, wherein you have Katy Perry and all sitting in the confines of their homes and judging the participants. Airlines, oh my God. With all the travel restrictions that have come aboard, we don't fly the way we used to. And even if we are flying today, we don't get the kind of selfies that we were earlier getting, don't we? So ab aapki selfies is coming all masked. Pata hi nahi chal raha hai, andar se aadmi smile kar raha hai, ro raha hai, is grumpy, It's very difficult. Malls today are bearing a deserted look. Well, with the economy opening up, we were hard pressed to open the economy because, businesses were going off. Now, when we are entering the malls, you don't move around that freely. There is a restriction in the number of people or the number of intakes in the malls. Sports, the Tokyo Olympics was postponed from 2020 to 2021. We were very good at doing our math, right? Saying 4 years, Olympics then, correct? So anything would be predictive. I would have won KBC just on predicting counts, when would be the next Olympics. Now what? The count stays challenged. These are, however, very morbid thoughts, business nahi chal raha hai, placements nahi ho rahi hai, we are sitting here talking to each other, whether we can come on board. I was discussing with Pia Madam the other day, and, she told me, she enlightened me that from today onwards, you would be allowing few of your students to step in your premises. That is the need of the hour. That is how things are changing, because there is hope. A huge amount of what we're dealing today is all based on hope. Your vaccines are hope, nothing but hope. But are you ready to embrace it all? Are you ready to move with the flow? Are you prepared? This is a question that I ask many of the businesses when I am talking. Just to let you know, we are in the luxury segment. COVID came. Oh my God. We were trembling, shivering. We were even contemplating the very existence of, leave alone the company or leave alone the organization, of the industry. Whether we will be able to survive, whether we will be able to see a tomorrow if we survive the today. Well, we said, let us go for it. Zyada se zyada kya hoga? From standing, we may come down kneeling, but we will not fall. That is how we prepared ourselves. To our utter surprise, you won't believe it. We opened our doors on 15th of June, 2020. We allowed workmen to come in. We worked diligently. We produced like maniacs. We were so committed to delivering the products to the shelves, to the retails. We are 100% into exports. The reason why we did it is because we call ourselves channel partners. If a partner does not contribute, the challenge is that the channel stays compromised. When we put the products on the windows, remember, two things worked to our advantage. A, many countries were giving out these bailout money to individuals. The Western society does not believe in conserving their finances. They're all out to spend. Somewhere it was also a psychological impact that played around in the minds of the people. They said, we have the money, we want to just spend, and we want to just get out of this feeling of being caged inside our homes. The only way that they could spend was probably going on a holiday, buying something like a car. But because people started staying together, the commitment rose. When the commitment rose, the sale of the jewelry escalated, and they had the money to support it. We were prepared, we encashed it. To also see the modern world witnessed 4 revolutions: the agriculture, industrial, educational, and digital revolution. These had their own impacts. While the agrarian society put a lot of emphasis on the whip and the lash effect, it changed so in the world of the industrial revolution, wherein the labor force became your primary drivers. Your labor laws came into being. Everything revolved around the labors. If you don't have the labors to actually fulfill a task or a manufacturing, then there was no output. Ford Motors is a brilliant example of assembly line production that went on. Correct? It was probably the pioneers. This was also the time the X and the Y of the motivational theories came into existence. Then came the educational revolution. This was during my time when we were, getting our MBAs and engineering and the medical degrees. That was the time a lot of brain drain was happening. The real power, the IITians of the world, the IIM, alumni, they all went away to the MNCs, all migrated outside to US and to the other lands of lure. The reason being, in India, if you have engineering colleges that have mushroomed up in every space, do you have the kind of infrastructure that is going to support these students? And by infrastructure, I mean, do we have enough with the government machinery that can absorb and give jobs? Today, I have an accountant who is BE mechanical engineer sitting with me with a 10,000 rupees salary. What a shame. What a shame. To now, the digital revolution. You and me talking today on an ether. We never thought this. When I was a kid, a serial used to come known as Star Trek. So we used to always do this, Spock, and we were all calling ourselves Captain Clark of the world. And when that was happening, there used to be a Bluetooth device with them, and we used to say, "My God, look at them, huh? They can talk like that, man." Today, 99% of us are having some kind of a Bluetooth device with us. Anyone who has a mobile has a Bluetooth device attached to it. 80s is a reality in 2020 and even earlier. Teletransportation, we were all in awe of it. Wow. Mission to moon, it's a passe. Elon Musk is talking about visiting the other planet. And if you know what, it is the space tourism boom. Amazing things, amazing the way that we are moving ahead. So where do we stand now with so much happening around us? It becomes overbearing and overwhelming for most of us. As Winston Churchill said, never let a good crisis go waste. So Ranjita made a very good opening statement today. By the way, you look beautiful with that light on you. So she made a very nice statement today that you need to train your resources, so that they do great work for you. Even if they move out, you've still sent out a trained resource. It's a beautiful thought behind a management psychology. So HR today has graduated from just being a sidelined function to being the business partner. Business understanding and skill management in alignment to the business shall be the name of the game. We call ourselves, the strategic partners to the business. Why? Now today, if we talk about businesses and the way that they have survived, the only reason that they survived was because they created a resource pool that actually held the bull by their horns and rode the waves of these turbulent times. It's like that surfer riding on the waves, You go up, you would go down, you again rise up, but what you enjoy is those waves, correct? So how do we do this? Most companies fail to actually do a talent assessment. When we were in the opening session of today's, we saw a beautiful video on HR analytics. It's become more of a cosmetic word for us. It's so much of a cosmetic word that we want to use analytics in, I am part of, business analytics, HR analytics. I have a BI tool with me, a business intelligence tool with me. Fancy frilly words. They look awesome on a CV. I've worked here and there. But do you actually use them? I bet on you, apart from consultancy firms and the IT firms, none of us are using it to the way that they need to be used. Hence, you never know your talent pool and their capabilities. You still believe in the bell curve, and you still believe in the way that, the last three months, Jan to March, perform किया है increment लेके जाओ. उसके पहले का, we fail to even measure and capture those data. Creating a career trajectory. We all want MBAs and engineers walking in our premises, but what are we promising them? A person who has been inducted as an MT or a management trainee in the organization, graduates to being an assistant manager or an executive, and from there what? So we show them a whole, manual, the HR manual, tell them 3 years, अच्छा काम किया, so you will get this. अगर बुरा काम किया, we will stagnate you. अगर अच्छे से मतलब कर रहे हो, you're just about there. So we'll see that, we will create that kind of even की time-bound promotion मिल जाएगा आपको. कुछ तो दे ही देंगे. Why? Because we are desperate. Empty. इतना time दिया इसके ऊपर, इसको इतना हमने, we've invested ourselves in this person. छोड़ के नहीं जाना चाहिए. क्यों? It reflects on my attrition rate. No, doesn't look good on the HR. Again, we've not thought about a career trajectory. The retention tool is not there. Alignment of the contribution to the business needs. I have one clerk. Checks लिखता है वो आज भी. से बहुत काम है. क्या किया? Madam, I wrote about 100 checks today. Every day you're writing checks? Yes, ma'am. That means 2,200 checks in a month because we work. Saturdays, Sundays are off for us. Thank God, only 22 days, no? Otherwise, imagine 30,000 checks लिखता था वो बंदा. What did we do? Contribution, imagine. And the importance, अगर मैं चेक नहीं लिखूंगा आपका वेंडर पेमेंट नहीं होगा मैडम, है ना? Importance. We are giving such importance to such trivial tasks. Identifying and creating talent banks not only for organization but in other domains as well. This sentence of mine confuses the daylights out of people, you know. आप जिस organization में मैडम उस तक focus रखें ना, बाहर का क्यों देखने का? No, but you're wrong. You have to think yourself as the pollination of a culture, of a talent pool. Is your HR or you being part of the HR, are you working in alliances with the other HRs and in the HR fraternity, wherein if you have a really good resource, for some reason, the organization is unable to, keep or retain the resource. It could be due to many reasons. Sometimes even individuals, grow out, of the organization. That means they can take in much more than what the organization can provide. Do you have that kind of, colleagues, friends in the fraternity wherein you can say, I've got a beautiful resource. Why don't you just take him? I'm sure that person is going to perform outstanding in your organization. Are we doing that? Correct? Being the PR and the spokesperson for the organization. So, my management says, Saumya, you're an awesome HR person. Thank you. I'm humbled. But the reason I'm an awesome HR person is because I was a salesperson. 14 years in sales. Correct? That's the secret. And when I can sell tangibles to people, I can also sell a concept. And selling an organization is what an HR does. You create an aura. I'm not saying a fake one. I'm saying the real one. All right. You promise a product, which is you're promising a career. And you ensure a delivery, which means you are saying that you're doing a flawless onboarding. The MOT, moment of truth, the experience, along with the MOT, should be a great one, that the person becomes your mouthpiece and attracts many more talents on board. Today, however, we're seeing the employees are in the same dilemma what happened during the World War. Too many resources available because of A, the company shutting down. B, we are realigning and reassessing, the pay structures. D, are we also doing a lot more than what is really required? And we will get back to that. Employees today are no longer working in, the social context of meeting, greeting, talking, feeling with each other. We are now sitting behind our work computers and we have become the unique contributors or the single contributors. I just don't like it. Personally, this is not what I like. If I've done something good, I want a trophy, tangible trophy, or in my hand. I don't want to just see, some sort of a clip art of a trophy on my screen. Doesn't appeal to me at all. The employee engagement has become very critical when these people who are not part or were not sitting, they're still part, I'm sorry, who are not sitting within your premises? How would you engage them? How would you still make them feel part of your ecosystem? So we do that by creating a purpose, alignment of self and of the organization. At this point and at this juncture in life, money ceases to be the motivational factor for me. It is when I'm talking to people like you. It is when I'm meeting the young minds. It is when the exchange of ideas that helps. That is my self-purpose. My organization also believes in creating the happiness around it. And that is why this cohesive meld has happened. The sense of belonging, the sense of pride. Oh, I work for XYZ company, organization, institute. That is very essential, and this can be done by communicating on a regular basis. The touch points on which you communicate. Are you communicating frequently? Don't become overbearing, huh? Tu theek hai na? Tu zinda hai na? Please, sorry, don't do that. It is COVID times, but we don't want so much of an overbearing. Be subtle, be good, be there. Be there to help. Collaboration and no longer competition is the new mantra. You need to know how to collaborate with different people, different streams, different departments. And you need to take away the sense of competition. Now, what do I mean by this? When you take away competition, the competition is actually, putting someone lower than you and creating an impression that you are higher. But a healthy competition is when you give an equal opportunity to all to perform. That should be encouraged. But collaboration becomes a unified purpose in the organization where it creates a win-win, situation for all. Accessibility to the information across board to everyone. If you say that we trust you, mean it. It's like when we say you cannot be half pregnant. Either you trust or you don't trust. You cannot put tangible, I just trust you 99%. What's that? What does that mean? You can't have that kind of a trust factor. So you need to trust your employees. By the way, a new law that has come into force by the government, which is very good, is that, a lot of domains such as even jewelry, where we are into fashion and we are very scared of our designs being pilfered. This work from home was something that was a lot of bought in with a lot of skepticism. Now that the government has said that if someone breaches that trust, that person can also fall under the purview of a crime, I think we all can rest. And the continuity. This cannot be, today we'll have a Rangoli competition. Today we'll have an Antakshari online. And then 4 days, sleep. Can't happen. It has to be a consistent, continuous effort wherein you need to be with your people. Make communications fun. So I hope this kind of a webinar is fun for you. Otherwise, I would have dozed off. Correct? So who likes to be a part of doomsday conspiracy, man? Business nahi acha chal raha hai. क्या बताएं, यहाँ पर ये प्रॉब्लम हो गई है. तुम आने वाले हो क्या ऑफिस में? कैसे ना ट्रेन ही नहीं चल रही है. अरे बाजू वाला sneezed यार. I'm scared I will also get COVID. Who wants to listen to all this? We want to spread positive vibes. Do you know, despite being such a heavily populated country, just look at our COVID cases and the death resultant owing to that. It's very less. Look at all the developed countries, man. We are far ahead in that sense. Oh, business is back. And we are rocking. We are rock stars. All thanks to you. If you talk like that, if you create the same lines of communication, see, the sentiments were the same. But if you turn the positives into more affirmative positives and you just mellow down the negatives, world becomes such a beautiful place to be. Empower. ये काम करो, ये काम नहीं करो, ये काम करो. ठीक है, कर दिया काम. कैसे? The person doesn't have drawing disbursement power with him. The person doesn't have sanctioning power with the person. The person doesn't have any authority. The span of control नहीं है. आपने हाथ पैर बांध दिया और बोलते हो बेटा रेस में first आना. How is that possible? Impossible. फिर वो छोड़ दीजिए. Impossible also has I am possible. Leave all that spiel. You cannot have a person perform if you tie the person down. Pass on some amount of authority. Take feedbacks. Take their advice. You never know. The best advice to run a shop floor comes from my blue-collared artisans, because they are the ones who are manning it. They know how to do it. Career progression, well, this is something that we have always spoken about. Sharing of information, knowledge with a bit of personal touch. How is everyone at home? I just asked that one question to my office assistants. You will not believe the joy that they had. The other day I saw one of my guards, his head was shaven. I just casually asked him, "Beta sab ghar mein theek hai?" I just see a head shaven and says, "हाँ, यूपी में ना मेरी चाची नहीं रही मैडम, कैंसर था उनको." Oh, my condolences, my apologies of hearing it. You need some money or something? Some financial assistance is required, beta? नहीं मैडम, आपकी दुआ है, सब ठीक है. This is how you share, you engage an employee. I bet on you that guard of mine will never leave Gold Star ever, because he knows he's been cared for even at that level. Then, how are your policies in place? If I can say, do you have a clear work from home policies? I may just switch on the screen and just go out. I'm specifically talking about the work from home policy because this is fairly new and people are still trying to, learn a lot from it. Most companies like ours, because we were into manufacturing, we never thought even in our dead dreams that we would ever come for the work from home. Ever. It never could happen. How can I give diamonds and gold to someone at home and ask him to create a piece of jewelry? Not possible. So if you don't have a clear-cut work from home policy, you will end up in creating more havoc than haven for your employees. Feedback, very, very, very common. I call that an autopsy department. Shav Vichedan Vibhag. After the death, you go on and say, "Arre, this is the reason the poor fellow died." You don't need that. You need to do a feed forward, which means the expectations and setting those expectations clearly, mentoring, tutoring, guiding, hand-holding through the work, and telling them that this is what is the overall reason for doing this. The purpose is to be stated very clearly. And you also need to train managers to manage your remote teams. So in Gold Star, we've created a hybrid culture. So we have on the job and we have off the job who are sitting at their home. So work from home is actually now work from anywhere. Tomorrow, post we all get vaccines, we would be sitting with our laptops on some sea beach and doing our tasks. I find it very romantic. Park me, subere, you're doing work. People coming, giving you fokat ka advice. Imagine what a world. आप अपना स्लाइड में ये थोड़ा ऐड कर दीजिए, मैडम, and someone is just jogging. Fun times it would be, no? So either you are in fun times or you are in funny times. So we will see where it would be. But this is how things are going to change. If you don't train your managers, like I said, you will create more demons in the system. For that, one phone call will come to HR. That resources mind is not performing, ma'am. Just sever. Why? Output ही नहीं आ रहा है. अरे, but why? And when you're calling up the resource, ma'am, what to do? I stay somewhere in Dombivli. There's no net connection. In Virar, Vasai, there's no net connection. What to do, ma'am? So how do you deal with such things? So you need to create and sensitize people around it. Loyalty. I love this word. I'm in love with this word. है ना? Customer loyalty, brand loyalty, loyalty in marriage and relationships. कुछ बचा है क्या? I am not seeing any loyalty in any of these factors. Correct? So employee कैसे आपसे loyal रहेगा? It's not possible. Loyalty is always two-way street. You give and you take. If you expect only one part of the glue to come and the second part doesn't have the glue, the stick-on will not happen. So you have to create that glue, that binding factor. And please do not expect loyalty at all. You can expect ethics, but loyalty and ethics are two different parts and absolutely two different emotions. Ethics means that a person will not do any wrongs. The Bible gives us the 10 commandments. It will not do any wrong. But the loyalty says, as long as the factor of influence is there, I will stay bound with you. We're also entering into something which is known as the gig economy. I am a gig worker, correct? I work full-time with Gold Star. I also have a small scrub business for me. I also am into teaching. I am an author contributor in one of the best sellers, the Growth Hacking Book 2. So I'm doing a lot of things. And I'm a perfect example of gig, correct? And I also give trainings. So today, you cannot expect a person to be just glued on to one job or one assignment. The millennials and the Gen Z are becoming more of an exploratory nature. You know the reason why? Well, my parents and my grandparents. So my grandparents, they saw the partition of the country. So their whole thought was, you know, get a good job, create enough wealth, because सब चीज destroyed हो गया था. Create enough wealth so that हमारी next generation जो है, they get a good standing. So they were the freedom fighters so that their, children could get to live in the free world. My parents, well, they said, save, government job, and then what? एक पैसा भी है ना, लोन का नहीं होना चाहिए. अपने पैसे का 2 कमरे का मकान बनाएंगे, लेकिन अपने पैसे का रहेगा, है ना? बच्चों को घिस के मर के कॉन्वेंट एजुकेशन देंगे, अंग्रेजी बोलेंगे, लाइफ में आगे बढ़ेंगे. करेक्ट? These were the thoughts. बेटी हुई पहले से डॉक्टर, बेटा हुआ पैदा होते साथ इंजीनियर हुआ. तो हमारे घर में it never used to be like, you know, जेंडर क्या है वो नहीं बताया. जैसे ही बच्चा पैदा होता था, अपने घर में डॉक्टर आ गई, इंजीनियर आया गया. You know, this is how we used to talk. And then what happened? हमने क्या किया? बाप रे, आप लोग इतना स्ट्रगल, भाई क्रेडिट कार्ड लाओ, give me the credit card. And when I got the power of the plastic money, I became a spendthrift. घर लोन पे था, holidays लोन पे थे, बच्चे भी लोन पे पैदा कर लिए क्योंकि हॉस्पिटल बिल भी क्रेडिट कार्ड नहीं दिया था, करेक्ट? सब हो गया लोन पे, है ना? So this is how things have changed. But the millennials and Gen Z, they have everything with them. Single child of their parents. नाना नानी दादा दादी का प्यार, उनकी wealth. Parents का प्यार, उनकी wealth. So what is it that is going to keep them motivated? So money actually is no longer a motivating factor for them. 30, 40, 50,000 की जॉब मिल जाए, पहला आईफोन लेना है बॉस, EMI पे ना हो जाएगा, बाकी पप्पा लेना, correct? So this is how things have started changing. So to create a hook for them, you need to have a policy wherein you allow the gig. In Gold Star, we have actually tweaked a lot many things. We also have a pet paternity leave, because we've seen that consciously couples are deciding not to have children. And the urge of parenthood is being satiated by keeping pets. And the pets are their life. So we are giving them pet paternity. We're also encouraging sabbaticals. So if someone wants to go in for a sabbatical, we are encouraging them and allowing them to go for 2 years sabbatical. Right? They can explore the world, they can go, they can, invest in their studies. And when they come back, we will fuse them in the same cadre in which they had quit with the same kind of, salary bracket. So this is something, these are the new things that we need to bring in and incorporate, correct? There is going to be a lot of legal tangle when you have so many different kind of workforce that comes into it. Another kind of workforce that we are engaging is people who have retired and the new moms, correct? Who want to come in, maybe invest just 2-3 hours of their time with us, and they do their bit and then they want out because obviously the child is their priority. People who have retired, well, 58 is still a very young age to sit at home, wherein the life expectancy has gone up. These people are coming here to invest their time. Again, money is not the motivating factors for most of them. We encourage them. They come like uncles to the organization, very respected people. We'll get to learn a lot from them. And they stabilize the system. With a lot of aggression, these people just come and create a soothing environment. So if you have so many people from different walks of life, how would you plan, or how do you plan to actually create the legal bindings around them is very important. So now it is legally possible for you to give all benefits even to your contract workers, the gig workers included. They are recognized by law. Then you have all these things, premises around the brand identity. The brand identity of the organization that is being represented. Where would you want to see your sunshine? The sunshine is the organization in which you work. So how would you create that brand identity? Because this is, again, a latch on to the retention function that we are talking about. Whether it is a B2B brand or a B2C brand, you need to have that identity created and more. The future worker is no longer going to sit in your desk, table, cabin. They would be more of floating workforce. Today, because of the technology advancement, earlier I was very restricted, tier 3, tier 4 cities have beautiful talent pool. But if I wanted to bring them on board to Mumbai, I would need to pay for their rent. I would need to, make them accustomed to the maddening transportation that is here. Local trains mein bacche chad nahi pate the because they become very scared of too much of crowd around them. However, now it gives me the flexibility. Work from home, accountant sitting in Nagpur, awesome. Sitting in Sangli somewhere, awesome. You know, and I can still give them and get in quality output from them. The game changers for the HR especially would be, if I can say, the interviewing techniques, okay? The AR, augmented reality, wherein when I'm talking to you, the logarithms can actually, or the algorithms can actually see if I'm faking it. My behaviors can be evaluated. The way that I'm presenting a data or writing a program, it can immediately fish out whether I have actually taken it from somewhere on the web portal. Office spaces shall become more boxed from open. So we went in from a cabin to an open, and we will again be coming back into the boxed thing, because this COVID is going to stay with us for long. Slack, Microsoft, Zoom, Teams, you name it, Skype, everything is going to come, which will take away the real need of meeting and greeting each other. Office and home melding and blending into each other, though personally, I will not encourage that. Office should be office, home should be home, but such are the times, correct? Emotional health shall dominate the physical health, as statistics show there is a significant decrease in the number of deaths due to cardiac accidents or any other reasons. आप रोड पे ही नहीं हैं तो एक्सीडेंट्स कैसे होंगे? आप घर पे हैं, ज्यादा स्ट्रेस हुआ, कंप्यूटर स्क्रीन के सामने से हट जाइए, करेक्ट? And you're not working 9 to 5 anymore. You are actually going beyond it. वो stress आ रहा है. The other stress that I am seeing is there is reportedly an escalation in domestic violence. इतना ज्यादा बीवी और पति की आदत नहीं थी लोगों को, है ना? So बहुत ज्यादा हो गया, and शायद उतनी opportunity to nag each other भी हो गया. It shall no longer be an employee market. Like I had stated earlier, because of the talent available, and also, if you see Middle East, etc., US, companies shutting down, reverse migration happening, they're coming back to their home countries. You have enough talents here available at a much lesser cost. So it is no longer going to be an employee market. Trade unions are going to make a comeback. I got a call the other day. तुम्हारा ये आदमी कोविड पेशेंट है, ये हॉस्पिटल में है, तुम उसका हर्जाना दे रही है क्या? हर्जाना मतलब नहीं, उसको कोविड हुआ ना तुम्हारे ऑफिस में आने से. सब मेरे ऑफिस में आने से उसको कोविड कैसे हो सकता है? मेरे ऑफिस में तो बाहर टेम्परेचर सेंसर सब लगे हुए हैं. नहीं हुआ है, तुमको देना है उसको. आप कौन सर? मैं XYZ यूनियन से बोल रहा हूं. अच्छा सर, आप उसके रिलेटिव है? नहीं रिलेटिव नहीं, मैं जा रहा था, देखा मैंने. Trade unions will be coming like this to you. Correct? Entrepreneurship will be seeing a surge. So many talents out of job. What would they do? They will start their own businesses. Opportunities are a galore here. Multi-skilling shall dominate over specialized skills. Because again, from specialists, we're moving back to generalists. As is happening in the medical fraternity, everyone has eventually become a GP, a general practitioner. Because sardi khansi sabhi bol rahe COVID. Everyone is now doing ilaj of it. Everyone is prescribing Dolo and Crocin, etc., etc., and vitamin C and Zincovit, we all know, like the back of our hands. Correct? So multi-skillings shall dominate the super specialization. Some of these changes will be temporary, while Some would last long. Now, what will last long? The aftermath of COVID. Okay. पहले कोई छींकता था तो we used to say God bless you because scientifically it is said that for a second your heart pauses. आजकल हम बोलते God bless me Baba. Correct? So some of these effects are going to last long. Your hybrid culture, your work from home, IT is still contemplating whether I should get people back or not, because the kind of investment on their real estate was humongous. All right. And also that industry, the consulting firms and all, the industry is such that they are actually single contributor driven. And we are, all linked contributors. So for manufacturing in them, it'll be difficult. 2 words I would love to leave you with is, if you have resilience within you, resilience is to have the ability to be persistent and to defy all odds. If you see, this is a beautiful picture of a flower blooming out from probably an arid terrain. Beautiful picture. And second is, stay relevant. You as students, or anyone who is watching this, even professors, me included, all right, you need to resonate with the needs of today and the ever, till that ever changes. I have enrolled myself for MA in psychology, and I intend in doing a PhD in that, because I feel that emotions will be the driving factor for anyone. And being in HR and being the strategist here, I need to understand the motivational factors, the hygiene factors, and the sustainable factors that are going to affect any individual. In order to be irreplaceable, as Coco Chanel says, one must be different, be unfungible. Like I said, too many talents available. Are you the one who stands out? If you stand out, people will think twice to replace you. The industry is going through an exodus of people and of systems. It is changing in more ways than one. Are you ready to embrace those changes? So as students specifically, what I would like to highlight is, just because you're an MBA, this happened with me. Symbiosis से MBA किया था 1999 में, तो we thought एक revolving chair मिलेगी, rotate करेंगे, बोलेंगे पानी लाओ, टेबल पे चाय लाओ, and things like that. And professors ने बैंड बजा के रखी थी. शाम को 5 बजे तक के लेक्चर लेते थे और 5 बजे प्रोजेक्ट दे देते थे, बोलते सुबह 8 बजे प्रेजेंट करना. दिमाग ऐसा था कि जिस दिन जॉब लगेगी ना, चुन चुन के बदला लेंगे. So it's thought कि भैया अच्छा जॉब मिलेगा, we will shine. आया, मार्केटिंग असिस्टेंट की जॉब लगा दी. क्या कर रहे थे? कुछ नहीं, जो बोला जा रहा है उसको डॉक्यूमेंट कीजिए आप मैडम. पहले आप सीखिए आप बिजनेस में क्या है. That was the first blink. Erase all entitlements. If you erase entitlements, you become limitless in your learnings. Equip the knowledge of pestle. All that surrounds you. We know pestle, right? So equip political, economic, social, technological, ecological, legal. Embrace it. You need to know all of that. Correct? Educate the quest for unknown. Be hungry. Be stupid, as Steve Jobs said. Always, always run after that. And ensure and keep yourself ready to face the rainy day. कल जॉब चली गई तो ये नहीं होना चाहिए कि डेट इतना ज्यादा आ गया कि you are left with no choice. Correct? So don't do that. With this, I end my presentation and I would leave you with just one thought. That remember, for every doomsday, there was a Noah who carefully built his ark. Be the Noah of your life. Build that ark for yourself in your career progression. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this session as much as I enjoyed delivering it to you. Thank you. I'm open to any questions, if any.
Thank you, Dr. Saumya ma'am, for sharing your immense knowledge with us. Sometimes the questions are complicated and the answers are simple. With this quote, I now would like to hand over the time to Ms. Vinita Chopra, Assistant Professor, Metas Adventist College, for addressing the question and answer session.
Thank you, Ranjit sir. Hello, ma'am. It was very knowledgeable and interactive session. Some of our students of Metas Adventist College want to ask some questions from you. We'll start the first question with Priyanshi.
Sure.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Priyanshi Baheti. I am pursuing TYBBA from Metas Adventist College, and my question to you is how grievances are handled by HR manager in an organization or business.
Thank you, Priyanshi. Beautiful question. Well, what you need to have is a lot of empathy. You need to understand and walk in the shoes of that person. So in manufacturing, we have two segments of employees, the blue collar and the white. The blue collars are the one wherein you really need to understand where their grievance is coming from. White collars are mostly easy to understand and easy to handle, but it's the blue collar. And once you have an empathy, या सवेरे बहुत भाग दौड़ करके बंदा आया है, पानी लिया होगा, फिर सुबह 4 बजे उठा होगा, फिर ट्रेन पकड़ी होगी, फिर ये ऑफिस आए होंगे. If you have that kind of an empathy towards him, then I think the grievance is handled very well. Also, we have a mechanism wherein we take in written whatever their grievance for that particular subject would be. It could be personal, it could be medical, or it could be something related to the work or the superior. So once that is written down, the unit HR person then sits, creates an environment wherein a dialogue talk is happening between them, and then we address it. So I hope I've answered your questions, Priyanshi.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah.
My name is Mishra Sheikh. I'm from Metas Adventist College. And my question to you is how to retain the talented employees in a company?
Oh, wonderful. So how to retain? Retention is something which is very critical for any organization. And how you do it is, again, like I've told you, shown you through the slides, there are various factors. One is the career progression, which creates the hook for them. All right. What is the next step forward for them? Second is, are you giving them a purpose? The purpose and alignment of the self with the organization. So that is something which is very important, which also is there in my presentation. And third factor is, are you giving them the amount of trust? Are you investing in them with the trust that is required for them to give back to the organization? If these three factors primarily are addressed, then I think you will have a retained and a happy employee. I hope I've answered your question.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Hello, ma'am. It's Abhishek Johnson here. And my question to you is that how to justify your colleagues in an intra-link department?
Abhishek, by justification, what do you mean?
Ma'am, actually, this is a real incident that took place with one of my friend's sister. She joined one of the company, and it's been 2 years that she's working. And it so happened that she saw that something wrong is going on with the department that she is working. Their seniors are taking advantages of the organization. but she can't complain to their seniors as she's a junior, and she can't rectify and correct them. And she even can't go directly to the boss because I mean there may be some issues with her. So in that situation, how she will deal?
Oh, okay. I got it, Abhishek. Thank you for that question. So there are two things in this. Okay, if there is there a sexual tone to it?
No, ma'am.
No, correct. So, agar in any case, if there is a sexual tone to it, so you can always file a complaint again in POSH, which is prevention of sexual harassment. But every company has a whistleblower policy. So in this case, what she should do is that she could become a whistleblower. She should first know and have all, the entire facts at hand. And then probably she can approach someone who she trusts in the organization, who has quite an influence in that upper management. She can submit her plea. Whenever you approach a top management with a plea, the top management usually understands that, these kind of information are very sensitive, not only for the person, but also for the organization. So, unka naam bahar nahi aata hai. And under the Whistleblower Policy Act, she will be safeguarded. Her employment also will not stand compromised. And whatever wrongs that she has unearthed shall also be dealt with the organization. So she should approach someone. The easier way would be collect all the information, approach a person who is knowledgeable enough, get under the Whistleblower Policies Act, and then table it to the top management.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Welcome, Johnson.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Janvi Lathia. I'm from SY BCom. In this era of monarch, everyone wants to be a leader or a king, so they don't want to listen the orders. So my question is to you is, why don't employees do what management wants them to do?
This is such a cute question, Janvi. Why don't employees do what management wants to do? Unfortunately or fortunately, we have the thinking brain which always says ye kar ye mat kar, hai na? So that is why there is a certain amount of training given in the defense forces, wherein they neutralize your brain, which means agar command आया गोली चलाओ तो वो चला देते हैं without thinking कि सामने वाले की मैंने हत्या कर दी, मार दिया, ये सब उनके दिमाग में नहीं आता है. अब इस तरीके की चीजें अगर वो एम्प्लॉइज के अंदर करने लगेंगे, so then it will create a whole lot of people who would be just working like robots. So it is good to have people who question, and employees usually follow what the organization's premise is. However, we also need to understand that one can only be a king if he or she has subjects. A leader can only lead if there are followers. So, आप राजा तभी होंगे जब प्रजा होगी आपके साथ, correct? So, in that context, I would say that most of the employees usually adhere to the system. Some are rebels with a cause, some are rebels without the cause. You have to find out rebels without a cause and eventually weed them out of the system.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Was I clear enough to you, Janvi?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, ma'am. This is Divya Bat from TY BCom.
Hi, Divya.
Ma'am, my question to you is, what are the modern benefits to boost retention?
Benefits? All right. The modern benefits, there's no modern benefits. The only benefit is give people freedom. Like I spoke about the gig. Today, my management gives me freedom. This is my office working hour. And I still am talking to you. This is the freedom that my management gives me. So and it is a very intangible thing, not a tangible, but intangible is the freedom to perform. So if they have trust, they give me freedom to perform. The other things are all the outputs of the same, which means the monetary benefits, the positions. There are three things that actually motivate a person. It is paisa, power, position. So if these 3 P's are satisfied, the person will be retained. But to add to it, I will definitely say 2 extra factors: freedom and trust. Okay, so these are, I would say the benefits, and the benefits is obviously the way that the employee is performing and the organization is growing. Correct, Divya?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Welcome.
Thank you, ma'am, for answering all the questions. Now, I want to read out certain comments from YouTube. Amazing delivery and explanation of the topic. Second is informative session and the interesting webinar. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Pleasure.
Thank you, Vinita ma'am, and thank you, Dr. Saumya, for taking time and addressing all the questions patiently. Now, I would like to invite and hand over time to Ms. Tusti, Assistant Professor, Metas Adventist College, for offering vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm honored and privileged to have the opportunity to give a vote of thanks on this event. I particularly liked Dr. Saumya Badgayan from Gold Star Jewelry, where she mentioned the changing dynamics of business and HR in this webinar. The way in which she explained this was extraordinary. Thank you, ma'am, for honoring with us with your precious time. You have made us aware about the changing scenario in business and human resource in near future, how technology is going to lead us in the near future. I would like to thank the organizing team for their excellent coordination, the marketing team for their energetic efforts, the IT support team for the seamless streaming of the webinar, and many others who made this event a success. I also would like to thank each particular who had dedicated their time and made themselves available to attend this webinar. Your presence has made a big difference today. Thank you for joining us. Finally, I want to thank the Principal and President, Dr. Elia Shrikakoli, and the HOD of Commerce Department, Dr. N. Mohan Rao, and the college administration for initiating this webinar series. Please do watch out of more webinars and be part of our learning community of Metas Adventist College, Surat. I wish you all a wonderful day. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am, once again. It was awesome.
Thank you so much. Pleasure. So may I leave the meeting now?
Just a minute, ma'am.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
With the permission of everyone, all on the screen and the viewers, I would like to say a few words. You dazzled like a gold star jewel on the screen.
Thank you so much.
And you illuminated like an angel and added glamour to our screen.
Thank you so much.
I want to thank you so much, and nothing less in storming us with knowledge. We were really blessed with your presentation right from the beginning, all through till you concluded with Noah. You just were on your toes, pulling the same thread all along and giving a real hope for the HR department. We want to thank you so much and wish you God's richest blessings as you continue to be a blessing to many more.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.